Hey, what's up, everybody? This is going to be a quick review of PWG's Kurt Russell Reunion 3. There's really not a lot to say about the show. I mean, look at the card on paper. It's really, it looks solid, but there's really nothing on the show that really had a lot of potential. I mean, everything pretty much, was just as good as you would expect it to be. It's a consistently very, very solid show. It's one of the most consistent shows I think you'll probably see this year. The problem is there's just nothing on the undercard that really stole the show, really stands out. And then you get you get a pretty awesome main event. I really love the main event. It's pretty much a one-match show. I'll definitely say that. So I'm not sure what I'll rate this. Maybe like a 7.75, maybe an 8.0. Because there is a lot of very, very good matches. Good match after good match after good match. But like I said, though, you don't really have, a lot of PWG shows, you get like a lot of awesome matches that surprisingly just blow the roof off of the building. And one of the other problems I have with the show is the crowd. For the rest of reunion conventions, obviously, it's not your typical PWG crowd. So it's I thought the crowd kind of hurt the show a little bit. So the opening match was your typical PWG opener. Really don't want to talk about it. Next up, the show really gets into a pretty smooth gear and never really drops off. We pretty much get, the whole match featured, or the whole show featured about maybe 5 or 6 3.25 star matches in a row, and then we had our 4-star main event. So that's pretty much how the show went. We have BB Hulk versus Jimmy Susumu. BB Hulk is a former Dragon Gate USA champion, so it was cool to see him in PWG environment with the former Susumu Yokosuka. These guys had a good solid match. This is kind of like your average Dragon Gate Infinity television type of match. Definitely felt like that. Jimmy Susumu actually dropped BB Hulk on the top of his head with the Tiger Driver to win the match. Pretty brutal finish there, and pretty good action too. Some really nice transitions towards the finish. Really enjoyed it. Next up, we had Young Bucks versus Davey Richards and Harry Smith. So a lot of people consider Davey Richards the second coming of the Dynamite Kid, and Harry Smith is the son of the British Bulldog. So I thought that was pretty unique bookings from PWG to put these two guys together. It's kind of like the reincarnation of the British Bulldogs for one night against the Young Bucks. I really wasn't that excited about the match. I'm not a huge Harry Smith fan. Davey was getting worked over by the Young Bucks, and eventually Davey made the hot tag to Harry Smith, so that was the highlight of the match. I love the way Davey works with the Young Bucks, though. I really do, even though I'm kind of negative on Davey right now, because I just think his character is at an all-time low. But him and the Young Bucks, I just think they have a lot of chemistry. I love their match from DDT4 with the American Wolves. Really enjoyed that. But yeah, this match had good action. I think everyone should really like it. Definitely a 3.5-star match. Solid stuff. Next up, we had Naruki Doi versus Willie Mack. And this was kind of awkward, actually. This is probably one of the weakest matches on the show because it just felt like the chemistry just wasn't there at first. It was starting to get going, but it came off like a kind of an extended squash. But at the same time, the positive thing about it is the fans were chanting "Next World Champ" for Willie Mack after he won the match. I'll spoil it because it's just, Willie Mack pretty much got dominated by Doi the whole match, and then he made his comeback, and the facial expression on Willie Mack's face was just gold. It was so, it came off so intense and so awesome to actually put it on the actual disc. When you guys open up the artwork, that's what the cover of the disc is, with Willie Mack and his facial expression. So the angry black man, as Big Rat would phrase it a couple months ago. So yeah, just pretty solid. I give it about 3.25. Naruki Doi is not making a lot of United States appearances anymore, so it was kind of a special matchup if you think about it. Next up, we have Peter Avalon, DEMUS 316, Ray Rosas, Joey Ryan taking on Cedric, Alexander, B-Boy, Candice, LeRae, and Mascarita, Dorada. This is a fun tag match. A lot of different elements here. More of a comedy match. Mascarita and Dorada stole the show. They pulled off a lot of awesome moves. The crowd was going crazy for everything he did. And I think Cedric Alexander, man, I think he has a lot of potential. I really don't care for the tag team of Cedric and Caprice Coleman. I mean, I think they're good. I just don't see a lot of potential in them, though. I just think maybe you could package them a little bit better. Other than just calling them by their names. But yeah, man, like I said, Mascarita Dorada stole the show. This is a fun match, 3.25 stars. Next up, we had the Blood Warriors of CIMA and Richochet versus the RockNESS Monsters. All right, this was fun. this is another really, really good match. But at the same time, the crowd hated the finish. And I was, you know, a couple months ago, I would have said the RockNESS Monsters, maybe they can win the PWG Tag Team titles. I don't see it now. They've been winning a couple matches. They've been getting some wins under their belts. But every time they win, the crowd is just always disappointed, and they're always like, what the fuck? It's just not believable for these guys to beat anybody on the level of like a CIMA or a Davey Richards or, you know, a Kevin Steen. It's just the fans just don't buy into it, and you know, it was kind of an honor for them to be in the ring with someone as credible as CIMA. And I thought CIMA and Richochet definitely brought it. It featured a lot of comedy, a lot of fun, and then it got serious. And the RockNESS Monsters, they're not great wrestlers, but they do a lot of pretty cool combination moves that really get the fans into it. And you know, they do work hard out there. You know, they fly around a lot. They do a lot of innovative double team maneuvers. But you know, they just don't have the look that's really that convincing right now. So that's kind of a problem right there. But you know, still 3 1/4 star match. Next up we have Masaaki Mochizuki, somewhat of a legend, so to say, from Dragon Gate, taking on Roderick Strong. The selling point of this match is stiffness. You get, you know, stiffness in Roderick Strong with the chops versus the stiffness of Mochizuki's kicks, and it just made for a nice combination. I really don't know what to rate this. This is one of those matches where you were just expecting a lot more, but the finish was pretty convincing, though. You know, Mochizuki just knocked Roderick Strong's block off with some of those kicks, and you know, I can't say that it reaches potential. I think some people might like this a little bit more than me. I'll give it 3 1/4. Next up, we had the main event. We had Super Dragon, Kevin Steen, and Akira Tozawa taking on El Generico, Pac, and Masato Yoshino. This is a great main event. Definitely delivered. You have a lot of elements here. This is like a combination of Dragon Gate USA, PWG, and Ring of Honor all coming together for one great tag team main event. Akira Tozawa has returned to PWG since All-Star Weekend. So it was a pretty big deal. You know, the personalities here is what really put the match over the top. And Yoshino worked really well with Tozawa, I thought. And, you know, you got Kevin Steen and El Generico still going at it. Super Dragon, I thought he looked really, really good here. You know, he could definitely still go. A lot of people questioned his conditioning, but nothing wrong with that. Yoshino, to me, Yoshino just, the guy is so fast that sometimes, you know, when he's in action, you think maybe there's something wrong with your television screen because he's moving so fast. And, you know, the finish was awesome here. The match definitely delivered. Definitely a 4-star match. Definitely probably the best match from that weekend, arguably. Maybe Akira Tozawa versus Pac was better from the Dragon Gate show. Overall, I thought the Open and Golden Gate Dragon Gate USA show was the better show from Wrestle Reunion weekend, but this is still good. I'll give it about maybe a 7.75, maybe an 8.0. Like I said, it's very, very consistent. It's a very, very solid show. But compared to some recent PWG releases, it just doesn't hold up. But I still probably recommend it. So that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and take it easy.